Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Bitcoin getting crazy on the 1 minute. People short and just got spanked. It's kind of crazy what they're doing here. 69.6. It still does look like it's going lower. 65K could be the number. Stay tuned for more. I got you. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. We got no show without you. Come on in. Hit that like button. Let's go. I'm a nobody if I don't got you, baby. Let's go. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Bitcoin at 69,550. Trouble in paradise here for BTC. We thought we were going to the moon at 76,000. I sold the top. From that point, we have not done too well. I've been scalping and keeping my capital on the sidelines, buying some Bitcoin, but that's about it. You can put the lemon into the water if you so choose. That will decalcify your pineal gland, get yourself on another level, and you'll start being able to create your reality. They're going to block you from doing that. They want you to be part of their reality. You can create your own reality. That's the key. First thing you're going to do is decalcify that pineal gland with the lemon water. I'm telling you, that's the first step to becoming a great trader. Shout out to all the people. I know you don't believe me, but that's the truth. I know. It's not even a joke. It's the facts, all right? The second thing we're going to do is we're going to take in a glass bottle, a high-end ginger extract, all right? And I'm going to come up with my own brand of these called Lifer Shots. If anyone wants to work with me, knows how to do it, I'm on my way, man. That's my next plan. Lifer Shots. I'm going to take them every day for myself. I might as well spread the word. I'm going to make them great because I'm super detailed and very, very anal about every little thing I put in my body. And so, yeah, ginger shots. And we'll have Lifer ginger shots, man. Whoa. 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 Whoa, that will make you feel younger. Shout out to everybody here. Bitcoin bouncing. I wanted to open up a fat short. I'm in the middle. I even said something to my trading group. We're going to talk about what I see, what I'm doing, and how I'm handling this insane situation. It's funny, right before this spike up, it's almost like I feel like I have such intuition about the markets, right? But right here, I'm like, if you trade the 1 minute, you know 1x post from Trump, and you're either winning or cooked. It's treachery lately, right? And look, like say it looked kind of short. We had lost the 200. I didn't open up a short, but I was like, I was actually looking at the daily. I was like, you know what? I think I should open up a massive short on the daily. And look, and then literally seconds later, and the short I would have been in would have been down like $1,000, you know? So the thing is, I'm not trying to trade light, right? I got to a certain area where if Bitcoin goes up by 1,000, I got to make 1,000. That's my thing. Okay? You see what I mean? If Bitcoin goes up by $1,000, I got to make $1,000. So that means I have to be in at least a $70,000 position. And I use about between, I don't know, 5, 10K, it depends. So I'm going to be somewhere between 20 and 30x leverage. These parameters, you know, it makes me realize how risky leverage trading is. I don't think people realize how risky leverage trading really is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bitcoin Vegas, everybody. You got to jump on in and get there, baby. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure I go out of my way despite my foot, despite having surgery. All right. My wife begged me, no, you don't need to go this year. I said, what are you talking about? I go every year. This is my thing. And get a free hotel night, passes and hotels select. Okay. And what you'll do is you'll use the code LIFER when you're checking out. That'll hook you up with extra discounts and you'll be inside the team. So jump on in, go to Bitcoin Vegas. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I love it. You're going to meet a bunch of people that have put their life into cryptocurrency. Like, you're going to have instant friends. You will leave there with phone numbers. I promise you, you will leave there with 5 phone numbers. I almost like, I mean, you never know. I don't know how social you are, but you will leave there with phone numbers, man, and friends that you can talk to for the rest of your life. It's like college in 3 days. You're going to make connections at a hyper speed with people you've never, it's going to be quicker than anything you've thought. You've never actually hyper networked this way. You've never actually been to something that's done this to you the way it did to me. You go to a crypto event. Who here has been to a crypto event? Put a 444. Put a 333 if you have never been to a crypto event. All right. Anyway, you can see I was drawing the 1 minute. I know you guys are like, hey, enough about the crypto event. We want to see Bitcoin. We don't give a dang. We are crypto fiends. We are fiending for price action. Look at this shoulder, head, right shoulder. I got to tell you what, like I'm very, 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 very close to opening up a massive short right now. Like they've turned my hand, they've twisted my hand. I see a head and shoulder pattern at this point. You know, I see a bear flag. I see us touching the 21 with massive days of consolidation. Heck, I even say we lost the trend line. Like we were already in a bear flag. That we're kind of, we're bearishly retesting now previous resistance and support. You made a high, you made a low. I thought we'd made a higher low. The one thing that had me going was you got a low, you got a high. You clearly break the previous highs. You got a higher low, you got a higher high, you got a higher low. What if this just kind of... So I have these nightmares of just a massive ripping to the upside. War's over, everything, you know what I mean? And Bitcoin just... So TA is TA. You got to use it because there's nothing, you know what I mean? To me, there's nothing else. What, are you going to use emotions? I mean, you either can use, you have two options. You use some type of technical analysis. Okay? You cling to... And again, even if it's fantasy, all this could be fantasy. Don't you understand? This could all be placebo. It doesn't matter. The key is it stops you from using emotions, which are worse than this. Even if this was, I don't think it's placebo. I see real probability. But even if you were convinced this was placebo, okay? I just feel like I have to open up a head short here. I just feel like it's time. I just see, I see that the daily could still roll over even with low stochastic. I'm very close to opening up this short. I was about 2 seconds away from it this morning. Then I started playing with a scalp on the 1 minute, which the cool thing about this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what my risk is. 69,640. The target would take me... No, I wouldn't even... Why do I have to be that... Oh, yeah, no, I'm way off there, right? Yeah, I'm way off. What am I thinking? Sorry, I'm upside down on my indicator. Yeah. Short position. Spank you so much. So there we go. 71,921. About to say. Up. Right, and then we're going to be going. I mean, the sad thing is, if you look at it, that's your measured move, right? From the neckline. And let's see if I can get what we're looking for. We do, and it takes you to about 5960K. Back to clear the bottom. I feel like this is a little unlikely because of the fear and greed hit 5 twice. And we had to go back. We went here and here both times, and it's like it took everything to get us that low. That's why I'm like, I may not do this, I'm feeling this out right now. My target would be 59,931. I'd probably sell it like 63, 62 a couple times, or takes, So $3,000 for $9,000, right? See, if I open up the short, my liquidation is a nice 77,000. Means I can definitely up the ante here. So we go over and, I kind of start to see how much. I like to be at about 33x lev. That's just the sweet spot that I found works for me. $3,000 for $12,000, right? I lose $3,000. I'm going to be okay, right? I've made over that each week for the last 3 weeks. So the short... Yeah, so the liquidation is 71.4. See how close it is? See, I don't like that. That's not what you can do, So what I do is I go back and I lower the leverage. 23. All right. Again, don't do this at all. Never do what you're seeing somebody do on YouTube, please. You got to have an education. This up here has demo trading. You can demo trade this for like 2 months straight, 3 months straight. Like, you got to be... You don't just jump in and start doing this. I just want to make this really clear. I traded for 10 years as a swing trader before I even day traded. Then I day traded spot. Then I day and swung trade spot. And after like 15 years of playing around with buttons, I began to play with leverage. After 15 years of spot and swing trading. I'm being honest. And long-term investing. But that's me. I'm like kind of like I was raised by a real, my dad's dad was like, he wanted to make sure it was 100, it was perfect before, well, you know what I mean? Had to be right. So if Bitcoin goes down 10 grand, I got to make 10 grand. That's kind of how I work. If it goes 10 grand, I only make 5 grand, I was half off risk. And so I like to make what Bitcoin makes. That means the position size has to be basically the same size as Bitcoin, right? Makes sense, right? So if Bitcoin goes down 500, that means I need to put 69.5 into the trade. So here you look at the trade and, there it is. Liquidation is well above the stop loss. I could only lose, even if I get liquidated, I can only lose $3,300 of a $32,000 account. It's pretty, it's pretty straightforward. You see what I'm saying? It is pretty high risk. It's 10%, but it's not 10% of my net worth, right? It's far below, like, it's like 0.000. I don't even want to be rude, but it's somewhere well below a half or somewhat, maybe 0.01% or something. I don't know. But it's a very small amount of my net worth, right? So, okay. If I lost 3,300, could I walk away? You know what I mean? Yeah, I could handle it. I wouldn't be happy. This account would be down 10. I treat each account like it's its own person. Like, this account is somebody that's never had anybody that put their only 30 grand in and they got to make it. You know what I mean? That's how I work. I like to have different accounts that otherwise it's just like, because once you could fill every account with tons of money, and for me, I'm still not at the stage where I want to start opening up leverage trades with massive amounts of money. I'm not comfortable there. I see other traders, they're at a level of leverage that I'm just not at. I started trading leverage about 4 years ago, which to me seems like not that long ago, man. It seems like I consider myself still a beginner. So, yeah, I do this one day at a time, one step at a time. And I'm very, very, I didn't want to open that. Sorry. My goodness. No. I didn't want to open the short. It wasn't like what I was planning on doing. I was just looking at it. I was just talking to you guys, and then I clicked the button like, oh my God. Let me see if I can hang out now, but nah, see, I don't like that about. Yeah, I'm not into this right now. I would go to last and just close it. I wasn't into opening up a trade at the present moment in time. Sorry, I didn't want to be rude. But that's this is what I'm looking at is opening up a short, because, man, there's a few hesitations that I'm withholding. Could this? Because why did you make a higher low and a higher high if you're not going to push for a higher high? Again, it is what a head and shoulder does, though, right? And you can clearly see what we wick to is a resistance, and it's about 71,800. Remember, yesterday was 70,800. That ended up becoming our resistance point. Okay, key level. First time in history I see Sammy short. I've shorted, I don't know, hundreds of times. I just don't short all the time. I shorted just 2 days ago. I shorted on Monday, and for the group, we took a short scalp. Yeah. Let's do my top 10 analysis together. Let's take a look. But it looks to me like a head and shoulder pattern. If the daily closes red today, guess I would wait for the next day to close. I would wait for Saturday's close to turn green, because again, we're at the whim of what's happening in the news. I will tell you, there's some things that you definitely want to pay attention to right now that are starting to get a little crazy. All right? A couple things. One thing is, Iran realizes they don't have to win this war militaristically. They can win the war geopolitically. Like, so look, the Strait of Hormuz, they're now going to go threaten the Bab al-Mandab Strait. You see what I'm saying? They'll throw some mines in there. And again, all they have to do is throw a couple hundred, maybe even, it might even cost like 5 to 10 mil. It might even be less. It might be a few $100,000 a mine. I don't know. But they fill this thing with 5 or 10 mines, and then you got to send a mining seeking ship. You got to destroy, So it's very small amount to create massive chaos. 30% of the world's oil supply, right? And people say, oh, whatever, in America, fine. Like, we're okay, right? It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. But when you look at this and see what's happening, I mean, look, breaking. Iran has tightened control over the Strait of Hormuz and is now demanding detailed crew, cargo, and voyage information from ships seeking safe passage. Approval for ships through the Strait of Hormuz are being handed by the RGC. Toll to pass has hit $2 million for high-value vessels. So now they're basically making money off of it, right? Mostly involving Iran or China-linked ships hugging Iran's coast. You see? So that's crazy. The Philippines has declared a state of natural energy emergency due to a severe shortage of oil amid the Iran war. So they're the first country down. And what's going to happen is, look, they're handing out 5,000 pesos to motorcycle taxi drivers and workers. The Philippines imports 98% of its oil from the Gulf. The Philippines has been the first country in the world to declare a state of natural emergency due to the war. Asia is facing a major energy crisis right now, see? Australians may face smelly streets and potential catastrophic health and environmental as waste collection sector struggles to secure diesel supplies amid the fuel shortage. So people can't pick up your trash. People can't deliver foods, goods and services. People can't work. A fuel shortage and surge in the petrol in Mogadishu. Very small place, but it's, it starts in these little areas that get off the bigger, right? It's like, that's when you start to see it. You see it first, like when the ocean comes and hits and then it starts to recede. There's tiny little pond pockets that start to get small first, right? Then you see the tide pull up. But first you see it little. Everything starts in the Finger Lakes. You know what I'm saying? 500 gas stations in Australia have run out of fuel. So this is today, folks. This is serious. And I want you to understand that something's happening. So right now, I sound the alarm for COVID back in the day for a lot of people to go get supplies. And I'm sounding the alarm again for the average person. I'd go to, maybe I'll stack up with some, but I'd go to some place that does sell those MRE or food that lasts for 5 to 10 years. And I'd buy 2 cases of that stuff. It's not the best. I'm sure it's not, but if I'd buy dates, I'd buy, there's there's some type of hard protein meal, something this old man told me about. I got to figure it out. You guys might know. What is it called? There's some type of thing you could eat that lasts forever. You want to start looking into stuff like this. You know what I mean? And I think it's important. I have I have jugs of water that I have Poland Spring, giant jugs. I sit there. It's, it's enough maybe for, each of them's like a month of water for a person at least, I've stacked the massive amounts of metal, if you know what I'm saying, little metal thing. I've stacked the massive amounts of food and some water, right? So I got one for everyone, if you know what I'm saying. And, that's kind of how it is. So I feel like Bitcoin fell out the wedge, tried to get back, bearish retest. And it looks like it could collapse more. These little whimpers are just little ebbs and flows. And if it closes tonight, to me, that is a lower high. And I got to assume we're going to begin to dump out of a shoulder, head, right shoulder to the downside. We got a bit of a neckline like this. Again, the measured move is this to this. And the bigger time frame is spoken. I've even seen this before. See this curve on the daily? That's bearish. It's a shoulder, head, and shoulder on the stochastics. That will come all the way down into here. Nice dumpy dump. So there's room for it to dump. Let's finish our top-down analysis, right? Where was I? Oh, wow, look at this. So you're telling me there's a chance over here. So now, look, I've got the model in my hand right now. Let's get into the, let's do this. Sammy's in scalping session. Scalping session has arrived. Welcome to the scalping session with the Crypto Lifer. We spy some type of possible scalping. We spy a possible scalp. 1 minute time frame seems like it may begin to push to the upside to 70,500 is the target. Measured move out the flag, the 21 above the 200. Can you get the stop loss below the 200? It's very close. It's not amazing. These have been tight and hard to trade recently. It hasn't hit. It's been I've been very, 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 very watchful of these trades, right? Let's take a look here at what's happening. That target would take, I'm not saying I'm getting in, and I can see a bunch of different things happening today. Sometimes I do my top down and then I miss a beautiful trade. And then it kind of gets my goat for the rest of the session. And so I don't want to do that. I know how that feels. Interesting. It says 3-1. I don't know why this is giving me such a bigger take profit is 70,497. Stop loss is 69,402. There we go. 264 for 834, right? That's almost every one of these I've taken recently has been a swing schwo. We'll see here. All right, I'm in. Ooh, why is the liquidation? What happened there? Oh my gosh, I'm at 248x leverage, folks. I don't know why. I forgot. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, the leverage is out of control. Why? What is my margin? Must be small though. 282, but that's not how I trade. So here, let's see if I can get out of this one alive here. I'm all over the place today. See, I'm even making mistakes and showing you what not to do. All right, I lost like $7. Let's bring this back to where it should have been. I'm always just somewhere here at like 33. I like 34 for Paul Pierce. 33 for me over here. Here we go. I'm so sorry about that. A bit insane, right? But it happens to be, that's actually, you know what I like about that? It's just a great example of what can happen, and that's why you're supposed to demo trade. Because people get themselves, they do that with big money, and they lose in like, because if the market went down the wrong way and you're in like that, you can lose serious amounts of money. So you want to demo trade. You also want to review what you're doing. 2 slip-ups today on the channel, which is odd for me, but it's okay. It's kind of interesting, right? Because it never happens to me, so I'm kind of like, oh, this is a cool day. What a fun and interesting day. It's different than the other days. Something's not the same. So this is my model, but it's been treachery recently because we've had so much downward pressure that it's you know, continuation patterns have not played out, which makes sense. All right. No, Paul Pierce is way better than Dwayne Wade. Paul Pierce is the GOAT. He went toe-to-toe with LeBron and did him in. Scored like 42 points. Dropped multiple threes in his face in the fourth quarter. Like, come on, man. Like, I'll never forget it. Like, Paul Pierce is the truth. Whatever, I'm biased, you know? I watched Paul for years, and, like, I'll always, like, Paul Pierce, Tom Brady, like, all day, bro. I was raised on the truth, man. I was raised on 2 men that just never stopped. Both of different walks of life, different places, different upbringings, with the same heart, the same mentality, the same will to win, the same consistency. I think the dude got stabbed, still like came back in the season. Like, it didn't even miss that much. It's nuts. True story, man. Look it up. Paul Pierce, man. I'm watching this we're watching this to see if Sammy wants to jump on into a long ski without getting crazy. Same trade too. See, whether you're in this or not, it's the same trade. It's all about the liquidation price, right? See, now that liquidation price is lower than the stop loss. That's the key, like 67. Yesterday, remember, we waited in that trade all day, and then I hit it at the end of the trade, at the end of the live stream. We hit that trade. Nice. It's pretty awesome. This is interesting. If I can get it one more little bounce here, maybe a little confirmation. It's high risk to get in right now. It's a good price action, though. But it's high risk because this could make like a right shoulder and take a dumpy. If this breaks this yellow line, I'm out. It tells me that I don't want to play. If we break this trend line, it tells me that I don't want to play. We can wick it and come back in a little bit. We can play a little bit of games, but not, there's some leeway on the 1 minute, but not too much. And this is what I do. I watch I wait and I watch. And sometimes in 2 minutes, this will dump right down. Like, sometimes, boom, it's over, right? And I'm like, oh, there was no entry there. I've learned the hard way. I used to bully my way into every trade. Now I patiently just see how much information I can get. You know, I like how this is curving up. I like how that's yellow. Like, this could be the one right here. This could be a nice little entry. Trendline bounce, 21-day moving average, curving, stochastic. Down to the 1 minute, man. You look to perfect the entry if you can. Technically a chubby triangle, which kind of had an inverted head and shoulder going for it. Like, it seems like it could have already got some momentum. Even here, we got no follow through. Why am I watching this? Because I just back tested this, and I've watched it on. I could show you on multiple assets how it plays out. Let's hit up the like button for the most consistent man in crypto. Shout out to Rave Song Records, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. So I'm going to take this trade here in the middle as we get this pump off the bottom of the channel. And look, it is shoulder, head, right shoulder. Nice shoulder. Let's see if we can make a G here in under 10 to 20 minutes. That's the plan on the 1 minute time frame. High risk. You know, I do not do this at home. Highly trained professionals, please do not try to mimic this behavior. How do you make $100 in under a minute? Oh, it's already down 47, 90. Wow, we were up 98 bucks. We're down $4. We're up, you know, look how fast that thing flies around. Look at that. We were up 98, 36. It's insane. Gap of the VRVP to the downside, somebody says. Yikes. I mean, that was a massive pump and rejection. Look at that. I got into the pump, and then they just rejected it immediately. I'll be honest, man, I've been losing like 7 out of 10 of these, 6 out of 10 of these. It's still profitable, but it just looks, it takes forever. Dang, that was crazy. Do they wick it back inside? Wick up, wick down like this? Look at the volatility of the smaller time frames. They just don't stop. It's just constantly, it's relentless. It's tweet driven, it's news driven, it's, you know, what missile got through when, who heard what. Did you hear a bump in the middle of the night? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it a bump in the middle of the night that made you go boom? Like, this is crazy. Right? It's just, that's what it feels like. I heard a noise. You know what I mean? When people just like overreact to one or two things. No idea what it is. It's so crazy. Look at that. In seconds, went from 30 to 200 bucks. I feel like the trade is bigger than I wanted it to be. Something didn't make sense, right? Because I thought it was 284, and then I was already down 200 here, and I'm lower there. So, however, I used the 200 moving average. They're playing some games here. Let's take a look at my bigger time frames. Would have sworn I did the top-down analysis somewhere, but we'll just redo it. Shout out to all my beautiful friends and family here on the live, all the lifers. Thank you for being here. People that have been watching me for 5 years or more, 4 years or more, 3 years or more. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't even know how we made it this far, how I made it this far. I just keep, and I know my biggest trade is yet to come. Your biggest trade is yet to come. You're on your way every day to more opportunity. We can't let the war get in our heads. We can't let this conflict pull us down. We got to remain, vigilant in our mission for success. No matter what's happening in our lives, we must push forward. We must stay faithful to the mission, to the plan. It's easy to get discouraged in trading. It's easy to get in your head. It's easy to tell yourself that it's not for you and it's time to move on. I was there probably 20 to 30 times in my life, and a couple times I did move on. Like I went back to work and I said, this isn't for me. And I didn't open up my account for a month or two. But eventually I came back because I realized I knew something other people didn't. I was a trader, And once a trader, I feel like always, like once you get in, like really get in, I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like you can never, it's like you can never leave. It's Hotel California, you know. You can check in, but you can never check out, right? Because it'll always be in the back of your head. Trump is speaking, probably why Price is doing this. Oh my gosh. Live President Lure Market annual fundraising dinner. No, 13 hours ago. Cabinet meeting right now. Yeah.
You know that because why did they shoot all these countries that weren't even really involved with them? They weren't involved.
I'm just going to have the audio on.
Because they're sick. Because they want to take over the Middle East, not just Israel. Certainly Israel would have been the first on their list. They would have used nuclear weapons. A nuclear, you don't need too many of them. But they would have used a nuclear weapon on Israel, and they would have used it on the other neighbors. And
look at this insanity. You can't trade this stuff anymore. It's like the 1 minute is impossible to trade now. Like it just does random stuff all day long.
What was happening? And I think we've been proven right. You know, they took
so insane.
one missile went 2,500 miles.
Yeah, see, it's way above. I didn't risk that much. I don't know why it's giving me that low of a. I thought I only risked 3. Like,
but they shot the now famous Ireland, the island that the UK was very.
Got lost his train of thought.
Because they didn't want to get dragged in, but we don't want to get dragged into their wars either. You know, it's one thing we're very disappointed. I'll say it publicly. We're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said, 25 years ago, I mean, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours. And I want you to remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue. Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated. They said, we'd love to send ships.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can see we're getting closer and lower to this key area. And honestly, I don't understand why my risk is higher. Today's a weird day for me, man. I was like, it's like maybe somehow that it readjusted when I moved it up and it put me in a bigger trade than I wanted to be. So that was probably like a 450, man. I'm not into that. I was only going 280, you know what I mean? That's a little sketchy, but whatever. I'll figure that out. Another, you can see, man, my scalps just continue to get bagged on, and it really tells me that it's time to open up a daily long and just a daily short and walk away. And every time I see this, though, something happens, and we start to bounce the other way. It's just been straight treachery. This morning, it looked like a bear flag on the 15 wanted to dump. More than likely, it started to dump. Next thing you know, we ripped right back to the upside. Like, and so every time I take a shot, I'm like, it's telling me not to trade the small time frames anymore. And you can clearly see, like, even this morning we got a fake out, break up, and down yet again, right? Yeah. It's been very hard to trade, man. I've been like last night, I didn't trade. It's funny, and then we're just hanging on the 4-hour 200 moving average, which I've longed many times before, and it's given me a pump. Anyway, let's finish our top data analysis. As long as the monthly closes green, I'll be bullish, right? That's the first thing that we have to kind of like say, okay, thank gosh, right? We're green. 2-week chart, to me, looks weak. And as I've said before, like we just, we're in this channel, and it suggests to me that we're just going to continue with some type of channel up, but it's eventually going to bear flag us further down. So like, I don't know. I don't see a lot of, I don't have bullishness here. The only thing that keeps me bullish is the fact that we were so oversold and we hit the fear and greed at 5. But again, like that's also just something I've seen in my life. I don't know if I could base that, but it has, every time I've seen it, we have bottomed. We have bottomed massively. You look here too, the weekly just, fine. I'll take a green candle on the weekly, but barely a wick from the downside, more of a downside wick already too. But all right, I mean, it's Thursday. We have, Can we close green? I'll take it. And then even if we go back up here and we just end up going range bound for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, even 7 weeks, we could still dump here. All right. We go back to the 3-day chart. 3-day chart to me looks bearish. That's a lower high now with a tweezer top. And then here I am on the daily, just being very real with myself that like this to me was the trend line that I feel like we just lost. And we were making some, now you're kind of bearishly retesting this outside area. And you've made what looks to me like is a right shoulder. It tells me to short this thing. And it happens to the best traders, man. You're gonna lose. That's the funnest thing and the greatest thing about trading. Because when you win, it feels good. If you didn't lose, you would win, and you would win every time, right? So winning would feel just like breathing. You wouldn't even notice it, right? But because winning is there, then losing, you gotta, you lose. Because we lose, then winning feels good. That's my point. As funny as that sounds, it's the facts, right? So losing is part of trading. Just not, right now, I don't go revenge trade, right? Yeah. Shout out from my live tribute channel. Shout out to you, man. God bless you, brother. BTC used to be fun, I know, right? And look, so that looks like 59,731. Right now, if we look at BOOKMAP, it's suggesting that we go lower, down to 67,004 and to 65K. This big red has been there for a long time. They haven't given up on showing us a massive red area down there. And so, the liquidity is dragging it. 72.5 still up there, but it's bigger, deeper red from 67.5 down to 65,000. So even maybe we don't go as low as 59, but it does look like there could be some treachery here for BTC. 69,005 is now going to be kind of the fight. And the 4-hour 200 moving average. So it's two scenarios too. And then I see this as a, of course, as a symmetrical triangle. They're 50-50, could go either way. I feel like we've kind of spoken at this point. That's got a measured move to like 63.8. Or it breaks out somewhere back to 78,000. For me, the breakout, you can almost you don't even have to long until you get above 72.8 and retest. Boom, wait for some type of retest or a pullback to a 21. This would be the smartest place to long. Aping along here is high risk, Breaking here and retesting 72.8 is a key level that would make sense. That was a very, very strong resistance now. So to me, it's why even go for the crazy long? They've killed the probabilities. They've made it more, So look, if you look at the 22-hour time frame, and we double-click the chart, you can see the stochastics are curving down. They don't look good. That's bearish, just like that's bullish. And that's a bearish cross too as well. So they look like they're going to dump. Everything looks pretty dumpy to me. The only thing holding us down here is this 4-hour 200 moving 200. All we need to do is just close below this, and this can go. And again, we got momentum here. Just because we're low doesn't mean we can't continue. I've seen you hang out, you double bottom, you do a bunch of stuff down here, and you continue to dump. So that's a good sign for a dump. 2-hour tweezer topping right there, below the 200, a little far away from the 21. 1 hour a little far for the 21. And I was looking for the 1 hour to possibly reverse, and now it's closing what looks to me like a bearish candle. 15-minute looks like it's in a bear flag roofing down. I'm going to open up the short. I just, everything has told me that I should short the market. And so be it. Let me get rocked if it goes the other way, Stop loss above that wick there. I like 71, 951. Sorry, I always do that. Stop loss at 71. Not take profit at. Now there's a realistic take profit in a big. I mean, this could be the bear flag, and it could go way lower. It could go to 41,000, but we'll have chances to get in and out of trades at that point. And I just lost another beautiful entry at like 69.5 doing this. But luckily, we already looked at this pretty closely before, right? I think I should go like $3,000 for 11,000, or it's really just not even worth the short. Yeah. So yeah, I opened up a short on the daily, that's what I'm doing right now. Let it be, man. Maybe we bounce off that 400, 200, and I eat my words, and then I find my model and I say, dang. But what I can do is if I see the model, I can trade up. And I could trade up, what, 1,500, probably $2,000, I believe. If we get this move back to this area, and for somehow I believe I can find that trade. And so I could probably get myself to break even once we get to the stop. Right? So it's kind of like a head short if this thing dumps down. And to me, it looks like a head and shoulder. I'm just trading what I see without getting emotional. My emotions are like, oh, but let it be. Right? Exactly. Exactly. My face is palms and imprint out. Why? Yeah. Then it pumps right now, right? See, like, I don't know. It looks weird to me. Even the smaller time frames. But anything could happen at any moment, right? NATO dissolving, EU getting invalidated, US doing nothing. Would be pretty bullish for Bitcoin. Yeah, your consistency programmed your subconscious to see these, yeah. But now they're ripping it. See, the second I touch the button, lately I felt like, and I think this must happen to every trader. There's got to be a time in your life where it feels like every time you hit the button, something ain't going right. It has to be. It can't, Dang, look at that. They bounced that thing the second I touched it. So crazy, He's so pimping, I know, right? They went after me on the long. They rip it up with a short. I told my wife, I've had the worst luck on the live stream recently. I told her, I was like, I don't know what's going on, man. I said, but I just, all I can do is be consistent and fight through it all. Right now I'm shorting a head and shoulder on the daily, and I just have to, take a deep breath and let it be. I can't stress the money. Right? Oil is in the control. Oil back in the move again? That's so crazy. Are you serious? Well, every time things get weird, right, with the straight, I don't know, 93.83. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, a little bit of a bounce. I see it though. I mean, they're stop hunting this stuff too, man. They're playing people, bro. Look, look at the pattern. You know what I mean? That's all the liquidity that was everyone. The problem is everyone is trading this stuff now. And so you got to be craftier. You got to use different things that other people aren't trading. Or you got to be able to get in and get out. Or, it's you got to just have a different way of doing it. To me, once you lose 69.5, and again, that's just a head short. If I lose $3,000, I lose $3,000. So be it. And it would be great. It would be better for my spot positions. I'd be back up for Bitcoin way more than that 3,000, right? So I'm a chubby whale sitting here, not, I'm a chubby. I'm a fat whale sitting here just, not stressing the smaller time frames. I could continue to do some damage there. I mean, getting resistance by the 200. I mean, it's in chomp too, just like Bitcoin. They just ripped this puppy up so hard. Look at this thing. Not too bad, considering what I did, but Watch it make the model now and just do damage. And I'm like, I should just trade the model. It's so crazy. Most of my trades lately have been shorter than 10 minutes. Yeah. Sitting on my hands, crazy 50-minute candle hammer wick. Bottoming candle. Yeah, yes and no. Like, I've seen that like that, and then it just, we end up dumping. Like, that was, you know, I've seen it right there. Like, you would have thought, a huge bottoming candle right there. Look at it. And no, like, it just, so I don't know, man. These smaller time frames have been treachery for me personally. Like, and I live on trading the 1 minute. So we just got to take it. I just take it one step at a time. There's nothing else. There's no other way to do it, man. Right? Overall, look at this. Like, problem too is once you go short, then like you got to keep your mind open to see, okay, well, what's the long? You know, like I like to long this. You know me. I'm always like going out. I'm a long guy who always goes long, right? Like normally I would just go out this 4 hour and, you know, but I did it here. We won. We did it here. It just seems like there's more bearish bias than bullish right now. So I'm also going by the liquidity here on BOOKMAP, suggesting we're going lower to 67.5 and down, right? So we'll see, man. We could be down. It could be down 2,000. And I'll be up in my short later on today. And everyone will be like, damn, man, the lifer nailed it yet again. Just like yesterday, man, it looked treachery for me yesterday. Didn't look like I was going to win the trade. A lot of people ran their mouth, right? One dude said, oh, you did it wrong. You got in late. And we hit the 50-minute pump, did we not? So I'm just saying, you know, you never know what's going to happen. I just kind of go with the probabilities, keep my emotions outside of the trade, right? Exactly. The cabinet meeting right now is every member talking about what is next for our options expiry tomorrow will remain around 70. He said you hit a Trump tweet. You're funny. That's what I was saying, man. Right? You hit a Trump tweet, next thing you know, your whole life is up in shambles. You know? Dexy, man, continues to hold above $7. This thing, there's a conspiracy, you know, something's going on, but it's amazing, right? Midnight trying to bounce off that bottom after it lost almost everything it got. Ondo's been, for me, come on, man. We started buying Ondo when it was like 40, 50. It stayed at 60 for months. Went up to $1, went down, went up to $1 a couple times, and now I just like collapsed. Like, I've had it with this coin. This coin, I really, yeah, like I have like when I see it, I almost get like, I ended up selling it below a little, you know, basically at break even and just like moving on. Very happy I did because I sold around 65. It dumped. I like Aster because I believe that CZ will never give up on his decentralized exchange, but Hyperliquid's been at least the only thing that went from 20 to 40. It's at 39.6. It's the only thing that's really been holding. SEI, SWE, they're the projects that I really honed in on. They were fast. They're really supposed to kind of show us that they could do what it does, you know, move money at a speed of light. But see, we all came into crypto thinking crypto was going to move money at the speed of light. The internet was going to go to the payment layer. And you needed to be able to transact borderlessly all around the world, right? So it made sense that it had to be, anyone with the brain knew it had to be cryptocurrency. It had to be blockchain. Now it's AI is going to form. Soon AI agents are going to trade more than everybody else. Like, let me show you something that's going to happen and just kind of map out the future for you. You probably see it just as I do. 15-minute looks like it's in a bear flag that's just going to take it down. That looks pretty bearish to me. 68,800, right? But anyway. So let's just talk. Right now, yeah, people deploy bots onto the markets. And they buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and these are buying and selling, right? And there's all this action. And then people go to, you know, maybe they want to move to a Chinese exchange or a different market. And they got to open up maybe an international broker account Or maybe you can open up a different, crypto account and you can move your money over there, whatever it is. But there's a barrier to entry. It's faster in cryptocurrency. And then eventually people are going to deploy AI agents that are analyzing the market at the speed of light, that are seeing things that humans can't, and that are going to overtrade, right? And they're going to want to trade borderlessly around the world, around the globe, right? And they're not going to be able to wait for sanctions or payments, and you know what I'm saying? And AML too, that's going to be weird too. It's like they're going to have to get, if they want KYC, they're going to have to AI agent KYC, AI agent KYC. Maybe you have to get an AI agent license number that attaches to any agent you create, and that tracks who you really are behind the AI agent in case the agent, and then you're responsible for your AI agent. What happens if the AI agent does something you say, I swear I didn't tell it to do that? It's going to get interesting, right? And then there's going to be ambiguity and what can people do? So this is going to continue to get nasty as far as I'm concerned. And it's going to continue to grow. And so the future of borderless payments and borderless markets is AI agents directing payments from all around the globe. AI agent can't open up a bank account, but it can open up a crypto wallet and it can transact on the blockchain. For us to move forward as the future of AI in business, blockchain must be implemented. Cryptocurrency is the future of this. So crypto is AI, AI is crypto. Which one will be the next one? How do we find out? That's what we're here to do. That's what we're going to be here every single day. I will trip over it. I will find it. I will join some other type of scanning programs. I will build my own scanning programs. I'm using AI agents every day now here at home. Don't think I'm not cloud botting and getting things done on a high level. I am already starting to do things of that nature. So and I might even come up with other stuff like that on my other channel where I teach you how I did it, what I'm doing, and how I'm utilizing AI. Because what happened to me is I got the bug for cryptocurrency when cryptocurrency I was like, I got to get into something before other people are getting into it. I can't jump in when everyone else is jumping in, right? And so, this will probably, we'll see what happens. This may pay me some big money here on the trade. If the 4 hour collapses below the 200, I'm just telling you that daily time frame does not look good. It looks like it's going to put the foot on the neck of the smaller time frames. I could be wrong. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. I've only been trading for a long time, but who knows? All right. Yeah, I may make the, I don't, there is, the other channel. Funny, can I see? Let me see if I can see it. Yeah, here's the other channel. Sam Price, the Lifer. All right. Where I can just talk about whatever, other topics besides trading. So if you want to join Sam Price, the Lifer, jump on in. I'm going to be active there. We're going to be doing all sorts of cool, different stuff there. That's where I'm going to go behind the scenes, how to maintain the Lamborghini, stuff like, so I don't look like I'm bragging on this channel. I just might do stuff over there. I don't want people to think I'm bragging, but I love to share my life and all different types of details of it. If I learn something, I want to teach you. If I know something that I never knew before and I find it fascinating, I want to share that with you. If I learned how to maintain a car better in the best way, if I learned something about how to do something properly so you don't do the wrong thing and hurt something, if I know how to take better care of an investment, right? Like if I learned something about watch care that I thought mattered, I'd tell you. I'd say, hey, this is a better, that I didn't know. I mean, let's see what happens here. They're playing games with the price action. They flipped the screen, but not too amazingly. But hey, we're out of the hole, right? I do see a possible complex inverted. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. Yes, I see exactly what you're talking about. It looks to me like it, But I'll be honest, I see more of a complex head and shoulder almost. I see it both ways so many times. Hey, what are you doing? You can't do that and close the door. No, because people can't come in now. You can't do that, honey, during the stream. Is BB here? Oh my gosh. The baby just came in, slammed the door, and she's on me now. What are you doing? All right. I know my baby loves me, but all right, come on, honey. Where's mama? Where's mama? Where's Mama? All right, hold on one second. I got to let her out. I'm like sitting there like we're dumping and the baby's sitting there. Anyway, the short is paying out. Let's go pay the trader, man. Yeah, exactly. I'm back, man. So, shout out to everybody. Oh, I got some coffee today. I forgot. Not bad. Haven't had coffee in I don't think the last time I had a cup of coffee, it has to have been 7 weeks. Can you believe that? A long, long time. Yeah, see, if this closes below the 200, I mean, I see the daily to me is speaking and the daily is screaming it's in a head and shoulder. The last time the daily was in a head and shoulder like this, we took a tumble. If you remember, it was right here. And I called it out. And I said, man, you got it. You know what I mean? I even made an M pattern there. And then the last time the daily was in another head and shoulder was over here. And I called this out. If you remember, I gave you the short at 107,600 right here. Oh, yeah, there was two. There was this one. And there was this one. So, like, Bitcoin has been using these daily head and shoulders to signify what's going to happen each time. And I'm seeing it here again. Does the 4-hour hold the 200 moving average? If this candle closed below it, that's going to, probably signal a lower low. And this looks like an M pattern to me, too. But, you never know. I am not a soothsayer. Also, there's more liquidity to the downside here now. Setting up, there's nothing up here. It's all down to 66, 65. Says we're going lower. And Big Red is usually about 90% accurate. So we'll see what happens, folks. I was up maybe 280. I'm only up 800 now. 80 now, sorry, 80. It's been going back and forth. But I am the king of 3%. Nobody makes 3% more than me. All right? Hey. Okay, yeah. I have trying to follow this. Taco was talking. You're funny. The Taco, bro, you're crazy, man. Yeah, we have it up there, but like every time I do that, it gets like, is that what you want to do? Do you want to sit there and just, lifer, couldn't the complex play out if the daily had play out? This time I won't let my skin explode. Interesting. Shout out to Yule. I don't know what that means. Dump is good. Trending downward, not. Yeah. Sideways price, 55 days. Fear and greed at 5. Still doing nothing. That's what happens, though. You don't see it till it's over. You know what I mean? There you go. This thing will free fall now. Once you lose the yellow line on the 4-hour time frame, it gets pretty treacherous. Either you're making like a perfect entry or it's treachery. And to me, I could see a massive dump coming, and I didn't want to miss. I didn't want to not be part of the party, man. I wanted to be able to be a part of that dump. I didn't want to miss out. Look at that bear flag to the downside of the 15-minute time frame off the 21-day moving average. A little bit of bull div, though. Could you get some bullish divergence that does save the day here? Sparks it back to the upside. The 4-hour complex could play out before the 1-day headed shoulders. Interesting. Anything could happen, man. Yeah. The key is to actually make a decision. The trader that actually does something, the action will create, some type of result, either a loss or a win, or you know what I mean? Whatever it may be. But you got to do something, right? You can't sit there and do nothing. Look at the 1-minute time frame, if we may be. So, like you can see shoulder, head, right shoulder there, skirting to the downside. So that's basically my technical analysis for the day, folks, and my live trading. I'll see you tomorrow. No, I got so much to show you. No, but the idea is this, right? Symmetrical triangle could go either way. That's really what you wanted to understand about this. Bear flag retested this trend line, for sure, as far as I'm concerned. And so you have a bearish retest, okay? You've got two measured moves. The measured move from the bear flag, which takes you all the way to 59, and the measured move of the symmetrical triangle, which takes you somewhere down to about 64,000. You got BOOKMAP suggesting you're about to get pummeled, and you have the 4-hour losing the 200 moving average. These four things combined tell me, and you have a daily head and shoulder pattern. And what I like to do now is what pattern, where am I here? I'm using the OKX chart, which I don't even trade OKX, but it doesn't matter. It's just, I use whatever chart I want to show you price action, as long as it's not like complete garbage. But look, you also lost the 200 moving average here on the 15. You made a descending triangle last night. Even last night, I kind of looked like the daily was going to take us down. I should even, whatever. That was a good short in my strategy. But last night, I could even see that we could bounce off the 200, and I was like going back and forth. And I said, Sam, man, you're in a trade almost every single day of your life. I said, just let it go, man. I said, just let it go. And yeah, we're up $420, $430 on the short there as it continues to get pumped to the downside, right? Again, this should be a bigger money short on the daily. I feel like this thing is going to dump for the next 2-3 days. But we don't know for sure. But this is what you're going to see usually. You get the pummeling, all right? I mean, we were just up like $700 in seconds, right? So I like to even hold on, you never know. Let's see. 539, and we made it in less than a half an hour, right? So shout out to anyone that may or may not have taken the short. It was up about $800 for a second there. Well, we went to 68.6 for like man. You sure you got to be? That's the one thing about shorting is it's so quick, huh? It's like so fast. It's like blink. Like I never do I take profits now? Like, are they going to rip this thing right back up? Is Trump going to say something? Like, I got to be listening to Trump right now, right? Like, who knows? I could take profit, re-enter the short, and then now I have something to show for it, Man, they were playing games. I was shorted, wick me out before dumping. I don't trust any of this. The casino, baby, welcome. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Yeah, how to use the bigger time frames I've learned to trade the smaller time frames. Like, you have to take a deep breath and just zoom out. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but that's what I've been noticing. And that's a pretty big wick back up. Like, I'll take my 400, right? I'll pay myself here. Oh, whoa, go, baby, go, baby, go. Flood. Flush. That's a flush. That's a flush when I see that usually. Oh, come on. Flush that. That's usually straight down, baby. Straight down. Come on, do what you do. Do what you do. I've seen it 1,000 times. That's a straight down flush. Flush that puppy down, man. Ah, come on. I've seen this candle flush so much that when you have a wick next to the red, man, it's just a straight flush, especially when I see the 21 like that. Straight flush that thing down, baby. I've seen it so many times in my life. Come on, like, do what you're supposed to do. People tell me they never see me short the market. Dang, man. This is crazy. Flush that puppy down, man. They're pressing on it. They're stepping on its neck right now. Go, baby. Go, baby. That's a straight down flush. I should make a G here. Flush me down, baby. Come on. Come on. Second day in a row we're winning on the stream. Oh. I just moved. Ooh. I tried to sideswipe it. Come on, baby. Wick it out. Wick it down. Can we stay in, baby? Flush it down, baby. Flush it down. Come on. Let's go. Oh, no. Oh, man, I lost the action. Oh, I lost my headphones. I couldn't hear myself. I couldn't hear the music. No, stay away. Come on, baby. More coffee, less hate. That candle's gonna get me because it opened too good. I'd be surprised if they don't whack me out here. This is crazy. Come on, come get me. I know you're gonna come get me. All right. Hey, we made a trade. We made a good live trade. So crazy though, man. Look at the wick down, man. That would have been my sell at 68.5 though. I still see it going lower, man, on the bigger time frames. Still doesn't look amazing, right? I mean, I feel like this is how I have to trade this market. Every time I commit to some big bonanza trade, it's like something crazy happens. I still like the short here on the bigger time frame. Like nothing has changed about it. Right? Like take profit still somewhere down at 59,006. Stop loss still somewhere up at what? Like, let's see, 71,000. 71,586. Okay. Again, it would be like, yeah, 35 or 12. I'd take that. Yeah. All right, so that's set up, but we'll leave that alone for a second, and I'm gonna just kind of take a look at price action. What just happened here? Well, we created a bit of stop hunting liquidity above us with people that jumped into the short, right? So now you got some stops up there. You do have some liquidations that are kind of teeter-totter liquidations, and then the red got eaten a little bit. So we took some red away from the table, as you can see. People took some profits on those shorts. And Trump is still alive, I'm guessing. Right? Talking on France. Historical preservation. I'm just, scanning for keywords here. Like, we don't need to sit here and listen to this. We got price action to jump on into, you know what I mean? I don't mind it sometimes, and it seems like we get good viewership when I keep them on. Like, it seems like we actually get more, like, people will come on, but... All right. Look at that inner healing, 888, manifest wealth and infinity. I'm into stuff like that. I just don't know. What if it's the wrong frequency and you don't know? That's the only thing. I don't know my frequencies too well. Like, I'm not, like, an expert at it, so what if someone's, like, pushing a bad frequency on, and I don't even know? I mean, they did bounce that puppy so fast back to the upside. Dang, I almost had like $1,000 in my pocket there. I had to be faster. Should have been looking at it on the 1 minute time frame. But it's okay. Not should have, but would have been a better move, right? Daily still looks completely bearish to me. Like nothing has changed about my original thesis here. That we look short. And that was at 71.2, right? Or I mean at 70,002 or whatever. So at least we made back the loss, right? So you saw me lose and win on the same stream. But man, you got to keep a cool, calm, and collective head, right? Still looks so bearish to me on the bigger time frame. 4 hour digging in. You know what? One thing I am watching now, though, is the 1 hour is just a little far away from the 21-day moving average. Like, if we got a pump like that, I would almost think, like, yeah, maybe we keep continuing, but the odds are unlikely, right? If I was looking at this bullishly, putting that music down, so sorry, I would be looking at to do something like this here, right? Are you not entertained, man? What a stream. What a live stream. Are you not entertained today? Come on now. Come on now. Come on, are you not entertained, man? I'm entertained. This has been insane. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. He says, very cool and calm. You're funny, man. Yeah, he started to call us away, even though subconsciously I won't like this. What does that mean? What the heck? Who started to call you a what? That's because when Trump talks, the market dumps. So what I would do is, if I was going to trade this bearishly on that daily, I'm going to look for an entry using the 1 hour. So the 1 hour can make a nice bear flag and get ready with the 21 to touch it. Continue this move, right? And you might as well continue to short it. So, but I feel like we have some time now. It may actually go lower from this entry now at 68,950. Like you may get, you know, but I want to see the flag. I want to see a flag now on the 1 hour. Descending triangle. You know, honestly, what it will do, the 1 hour looks like it'll do this. See that shoulder, this head? It'll rip up one more time to grab liquidity, come back. And then that will be like, somewhere in here could be the entry on that daily at about 70,250 yet again. You got to run away from a bear like the charts. If you go in straight line, it'll get you. Yeah, your first short would have been amazing. Yeah. He said a little. What is a little? What do you mean? Sam, you're the man. I love the show and love your personality. You are amazing. I love every stream. Let's go, lifers. Gratitude. God bless you, man. Thank you. Shout out to that blues guy in the house. Thank you. Very nice of you. We'll be back soon above 70K soon enough. Yeah, so no short for me just yet. I'm going to stay chill. And that was a pretty big position too, you know? So. And look how risky I have to be just to make $500. You know what I mean? I have to use I had to use, to make the $500, Bitcoin dropped like, we got in at 70,001. And Bitcoin went to the low of, it went to 68.5. We got in, right? What a crazy morning. We got in at 69.283. We got out at 68.857. $81,000 trade. The other one was a $108,000 trade, right? So I'm using like $80,000 to $100,000 positions, which to me like took me like a long, you know, I'd say 2 to 3 years of trading leverage to even begin to start doing. You really have to have a handle over what you're doing, how you're doing it, and when you do it. And you have to be able to be in practice of it all the time. You got to be able to take the trade off the table if it ain't going well. You got to be able to take the money off the table if it goes well really fast. I've learned leverage can get you if you don't execute on these crazy moves. There's like 4 or 5 really crazy moves a day sometimes, and that's it. That's the time. If you want to get into this game, I personally never desired to be a leverage trader. I want to be honest with everybody here. I wanted to just be a long-term investor, make millions, have a farm, relax, you know, buy land, have cows and chickens and stuff like that. That was my goal. I caught the bug because there's ways to make money off your own Bitcoin if you trade Bitcoin USD. All right. Number 2, the market got so bad in altcoins. I like to speculate. I have free time at home. Right? I have to be honest. I built up a life where I work really hard at my business, but I have free time to speculate and to research. And I used to spend all that time on altcoins, which got me where I'm at. That's how I made my money, and it got me where I am today. And then from altcoins into Bitcoin, a collection of 2, but mainly the altcoins are like whatever I could live off of. You want to get into this game? Ashwagandha is a godsend. Yeah, I take it every single day. A small amount mixed with L-theanine. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps me really focused too during the stream. And keeps me kind of in this like cool, calm pocket. You could do it with working out and keeping your in meditation, I believe too as well. But there's a way to keep your mindset cool, calm, and collective, you know. Anyway, let's see if there's some more live trading. I'm kind of like feeling live trades right now. Like, I don't know why I'm into it. I feel battle tested this morning. So look, I jumped out and they did reverse price action pretty close to my entry. So I would have made any money on the short. That wick was really the one, man. That was crazy. I was like, send it. They did send it. Then they resended it. But that was, you have to admit, that was entertaining. Like that was an entertaining part of the stream. Right? And that's the thing. Other guys who are making bigger money trading, I see, they're risking heavy. You have to understand how much they're risking. If you don't have any money to back yourself up and you're risking money like that, you lose 2 or 3 trades that because you're not. I just want to say is because I'll watch someone who make big money on a stream and I'll be like, oh man. But you don't sit there and do the math. What you should do is freeze it, watch their trade, look at the trade really closely, right? Be like, okay, they are using 10 grand at 30x or 100x lev, and then look at the risk that they're taking, and then ask yourself, is that a probable risk for you? And you're like, damn, man, if I lost 3 of these trades, I'd lose everything that I had just started trading with. You know what I mean? So I've done that before because you'll see the win and think, oh, that's amazing. I'm going to go 100x tomorrow, and I just got to get a little better and a little more precise. No, you just need. Lifestyle changes everybody, okay? And lifestyle allows you to take bigger risks. You have person A and person B, okay? Person A, let's just say, was like me when I started my night shift. That looks like a bear flag that's going to go lower, doesn't it? That looks like a dump. I'm going to stick to waiting for the 30-minute and the 1 hour to give me they look like they're rolling over, man. I mean, we showed you all the head and shoulder patterns. It didn't look good. Gotta feel like 30 minutes pretty close to the 21, which says we could definitely get more dumpage. 1 hour could dump down, pull the 21 with it, then come back to it, then make the bigger bump, right? But it's still all in all, with the daily would still probably stay in profit. You know what's interesting? It's almost like you got this going on. See this? This is a descending triangle. You see that? It broke down, got back inside, but it's still. That's headed down to 62,600 for BTC. You want to be very careful right now. Trump's still talking, right? Yeah. We're fixing it. It's going to be beautiful. He loves this ballroom, right? He's always going to bring up the ballroom now. I love the drilling. She loves the drilling. Melania, not so much. Me, I love the sound of the drills. Melania, not so much. I love the drill, baby. Drill the concrete piling. I love the sound of the concrete. I like it pounding. I like the pounding. We got to pound them. We've been pounding. Remember the pounding? It was so funny, man. Let's see. Does he say pound? There should be a poly market today. Does he say the word pound? I want to see if he says pound right now. Like, hold on. Let's just do a quick keyword. We got it. He's so funny, man.
Preservationists. But you know who they didn't sue? The man that took this beautiful Federal Reserve building. That's small, much smaller than the hotel I built. I built the Waldorf Astoria Hotel down the road. And it was a beautiful job for $201 million. It's bigger, I think, than the Federal Reserve building. And it's got rooms and bathrooms, and it's not like just an open office space, which is much cheaper to build. Think of this. I hear he's going to be over $4 billion for a little building. He doesn't get sued by anybody but me. I sue because it's either somebody's very crooked, which has to be, because what happened to all that money? You can't sue. I would have done that building for $25 million. It's going to cost maybe $4 billion, and we have a great new person coming in to take over the Fed. And Kevin may not ever have an office. Because I don't know if they're going to be able to build. I passed that building the other day. It's a see-through. You know what see-through means? There's no walls up. And they're going to spend. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which is a joke, by the way, they didn't sue that building. They didn't sue anybody. But they sued me, and I build. And by the way, my buildings, it's all donations. Rich people and people are putting up the money. 0 taxpayer dollars. Is that right, Scott? 0 taxpayer dollars. This stuff is all done for free, and I get sued. This can only happen to Trump. But they don't sue the guy whose interest rates are too high. That's why we call him Too Late. His name is Jerome Powell. We call him Jerome Too Late Powell. And done a terrible job. He suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, as he probably should, because I hit him pretty hard. But so I don't blame him. But they don't sue a man who has taken this gorgeous building.
Oh my God.
Ripped it down from the inside, taking ceilings that are as beautiful as you've ever seen, taking the ceilings down instead of leaving them, taking walls down that were 2 feet thick of solid concrete and plaster, replacing them with 6-inch walls with no insulation. I said, let me ask you, are you going to put insulation in? No, it's not in the budget. Insulation costs $5. Now you're going to hear the guy next door. If he's next door to me, I'll be able to hear his military plan. I'll know exactly. If Lutnick is in there, I'll say, oh, I know exactly what Lutnick's got planned. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. They've ripped this gorgeous building apart, and you can never build it again. I could, but it costs a lot of money. But a normal person can never build. So you're going to have crummy little walls, a flat little ceiling eventually, but right now you don't have anything. And nobody sues this guy. And then when Jeanine Pirro, working with Pam and others, has the courage to sue to find out what happened to maybe $4 billion and a building that may never be occupied by Kevin Warsh. He may never get there. We're going to have to find him some space in the White House. We'll put him in the basement of the ballroom. But when, now think of it, when Jeanine Pirro and Pam and the group, when they bring a suit, it's like, oh, this terrible thing. And then we have a judge that attacks us. So we've got to get our priorities straight, you know. It's a very sad thing that's happened with the Fed. And then just one other thing very quickly, you have Gavin Newsom in California Railroad. That's 100,000.
He literally says Newsom like.
It's out of control. We're supposed to go from the
He
middle
literally
of San
says it like it's
Francisco to the
just.
middle of
You
LA.
got like he
Well,
says
now
it like.
It's way short of both. It now goes to
He calls
areas that
him.
nobody ever heard of. It's
Oh my God.
billions and billions of dollars.
The guy's the best.
Over
How
budget.
could he-
Years and years, maybe decades late. And that's why we have a country that has a lot of problems. You know, we have incompetent people. It's all people. Think of this: Federal Reserve. I would have had that building done for $25 million. I would have, if I did it. It was up to somebody else would have done it for more. So maybe 50. But you could have done that building if it was properly done and planned. You would have done that building for. I would have done it for $25 million, and it would be better. It would be better. See this pen right here? This pen is an interesting example. It's the same thing. So this pen is very inexpensive.
Sell me the pen. Sell me this pen, Trump.
But I can't have the pen the way it was. You know what it is. I
Sell
don't
me
wanna
this
give
pen.
Too much publicity, but they do treat me well, Sharpie. So I came here. They have $1,000 pens, and you know you hand pens out. You're signing and you hand them out. You're handing them to all these people. Sometimes you have 30, 40 people, and they were $1,000 a piece. Beautiful pen, ballpoint. 1,000. It was gold, silver, gorgeous. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what they're doing. What is this, Mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. And I feel guilty because I'm like, you know, I'm by nature, I don't, you know, it's the government. I love the government like I love myself economically. I want to save money. So I'm saying, this is crazy. And it had another problem. They didn't write well. So I take it out and I sign and there's no ink. And I got all you people looking, and you say, there must be something wrong with Trump. And I'm signing, and there's no ink in the pen, and it costs $1,000. This one, I called the guy. I said, I'd like to use your pen, but I can't have a gray thing with a big S on it, saying Sharpie, as I'm signing a $1 trillion airplane contract to buy brand new fighter jets, brand new B-2 bombers, of which we just ordered plenty. I can't do that with the press. Use your pen, but I like the pen the best. But I'll sign it. I could do like Biden did, you know.
crazy.
Give it to somebody else to sign, or
All
another
right.
pen, or maybe sign it.
I'm gonna put
separately in
him.
another
I'm gonna put
one. I
him
can't
away
use
for a
pen.
bit. We don't need to hear about Sharpies for the rest of the time. But you have to admit, man, even in the little bit we heard, the guy he's entertaining. I find him hilarious. I know some people probably think I'm ridiculous. I think he's the funniest dude, man. He reminds me of like an uncle or like, you know, your old grandpa at the party who will say whatever he wants, like, and, you know, you're just sitting around with your cousins and he's just like the funniest dude at the table. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I guess if you grew up Irish, I guess he's Scottish. He just like, I guess he reminds me of that type of like, you know what I mean? Your grandpa, like, it just is what it is, right? This daily still calls my name on this short. It keeps telling me, hey, you're right shouldered. It's telling me what's going to happen. It's telegraphing a move. I just want to be cool and calm and collected as I enter it. I like the 1 hour to me is a little far away from the 21, but there's still like could be some serious daily pull here. So to me, this is still kind of the way. I want to make sure I get in at the right time, and I want to be, if I can, be somewhat perfect. I know it's not possible to be absolutely perfect in trading, but there are times where you can make better entries. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see if we can make a better entry. Okay. That's the plan, at least, if we could do that, right? Yeah, I don't think, nothing else really seems to be coming from the rest of what he says. Let's see. Yeah, he's talking about the contractors. The richest men in the country put the money up. Yeah, he's just saying, hey, it is what it is. So, okay. Yeah, so that's what I see. 68,990. Let's kind of go. One thing I want to do, though, let's see. I got an idea. So what I want to do is I'm going to look at BTC right now, all right? Just on a smaller time frame on two different exchanges. I just want to see what I'm seeing on the 1 hour and the 1 minute as opposed to the bigger time frame, right? Oil does look more bullish than bearish right now, starting to kind of approach that 1 hour 200 moving average. And when you look at oil, it crossed the 15-minute 200. It made the model. So oil was the model. I really, you know what I'm saying? I'm just seeking. It's interesting. So if you look at oil today here, like you can see, look, it gapped up above the 200, made the flag, and that was the oil trade right there. That was the entry today, man. Bang. I really just look for the same setup around the way, Yeah, exactly. He's talking about people getting taken out now too, and all right. So I just want to see the smaller time frames here for BTC. So Bitcoin showing the model. I just missed the entry on the model. It's crazy. I just missed it. There it is. Like it isn't easy to trade the 1 minute and to be on it all day long, right? But you'd be surprised, man, when it plays, it plays. Oh, hold on. This is oil. I'm so sorry. I'm about to say, like, there's the model right there on oil. I'm thinking it's Bitcoin. Silly me. Well, it's showing 68.9 on the side, but it's showing the Bitcoin chart. It's showing the Bitcoin. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? It's like confused. It's in between two charts or something. There we go. It had the oil order book. It had the Bitcoin numbers. It was what happens when you have 5 exchanges on at the same time while you're live streaming, right? So you're gonna get a little bit of that. There we go. We're in the right spot now. So yeah, you want to see like yesterday they did that Adam and Eve, and then they were able to pump that thing right off the lows. So crazy. But I mean, look, you lost the 200 moving average. So look, we took that short. We took a little money there off the table today. So they got me once. I got them once. We're 1 for 1. We're tit for tat. My trade was bigger, but slightly. I think I lost 421, 520. So like 460, 520, something like that. Still looks like a bear flag going lower, right? I mean, that just looks like a shoulder, head, shoulder. Almost looks like I could take a short scalp here. Could be CDB bearish div, right? So cumulative volume delta divergence. Let's see, does this go further down to 68,198? So that take profit would take you to 68,206. The stop would be 69,054, right? My leg is getting better. If you were asking, thank you for asking. I appreciate people who care. It's very nice of you. A lot of people have reached out and said, Sam, how's your leg doing? It's doing way better. You people are so nice and amazing. Without each and every one of you, I have no idea where it would have been very hard alone, just as a lone trader with no community, to get through my my injury. But to see so many people showing up every day, see so much love, see so much appreciation, I just want to say thank you. Every day, baby, every day. Yeah, it looks like it could be, you know, I didn't open it short. I just want to say that. It looks like it could, like, see the Adam and Eve grippage? Yeah, so my instincts are telling me the 1 hour is a little far away from that 21. So what am I doing right now? I'm grappling with opening up the daily short again, because the original idea is still there. Nothing has changed. Opening up the daily short again, or like, you know, yeah, is there some type of amazing move here? You almost want to wait for the next candle to close bearish again. Like, you know, you want to see if you get two red candles on the 4 hour. 4 hours still saying, hey, man, I'm attempting a higher low here. I'm digging it at 69,000. You know, it's an interesting thing, right? In the long term, I'm buying Bitcoin spot. I just want to make that clear. You know, I believe these are great prices to buy BTC. Even if we go to 38,000, 40K, I feel like, hey, man, Fear and Greed back at 10 today. Man, oh, man, they're giving us gifts every day. All right, you got to look at the long-term gifts. All right. I'm just scanning the words that Trump is saying right now. I haven't seen pounded yet, or pound, you know. Melania doesn't like the sound. I love the sound of those. He's so... So, and you can see, I mean, is there divergence again? You want to look for divergence. And look, I mean, there's this really strong divergence on the 15, like a double set of it. You kind of, you know, but again, that's okay. Divergence is only as strong as the support and resistance befalling it. So bounce, resistance. Bitcoin's got to get back above 69,007. And so now what you do is you basically set up two things. You say, well, either you're bearish, you're going to continue in a descending triangle. If you're bullish, you're going to likely make basically an inverted head and shoulder. I did this the other, you know, I remember, like, I always knew this, but I'd say it was like 2.5 months ago, we had this nasty dump one day. And I'm usually good at following the pump to the upside, so I did this and I switched it, and I was able to really catch, I just kept shorting and shorting and shorting. I kept doing this in the 1 minute, and the 1 minute kept, you know, or the 5 minute, and they just kept making descending triangles. I kept shorting them. It made so much sense, right? I judge the higher lows based upon the wicks. Wick low on the 4 hour. Close limit short at 35K. Interesting. Never happened. Trying to knife catch this bottom here. What 5K marathon date? You can do it. I think it's back at 10 BC. Bitcoin can't hold. When 5K marathon? I know, right? I'm going to be back running marathons, man. Flat smack the like button for the Sammy Cup and Andy. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the house. Yeah. Hit the like button. Thank you. So we're going to look for this 15-minute to bounce off bull div. Even this indicator's calling out the bull div. It's strong, but bull divergence is only as strong as the support of resistance. I've learned this now, like, and so I use it all. All right. Seven minute also, looks okay. Attempting a bounce doesn't look amazing. Looks like it's going to continue lower, right? It's kind of like it made one, I made two. You can see how this in and of itself is another bigger idea that, you know what I mean? It just, you can see a sloping down trajectory. What would change my mind is if the 4-hour could get back above the 200 moving average. If the 4-hour could get back above the 200, that would change my tune. And the fact that the 4-hour might, if the 4-hour can close a green candle next to this one, there's a possible reversal here, folks. They're just dangling the liquidity before they rip it back to the upside. So there's the beginning of a move starting an uptrend on the small time frames. Yeah, a little bit of an Adam and Eve, very barely. What first thing you're going to see is the 5-second break above the 200 moving average. 5 seconds going to start the model. This is what I learned one day. I caught it and I figured it out. I said the model replays on the next sequential time frame. You see? It's basically this like insane idea. Like, you know, one day I sat there like we're a being as the human, and there's infinite beings smaller than us, right? You have an ant, then you have like these tiny, you ever see a flea that's like so small you can barely see it? It's walking around. You're like, what is that? You see a sand flea. You see those, you see fruit flies. Fruit flies are like almost impossible to detect. They're like a dot, like literally that size. And we know there's microscopic flies smaller than that, right? That the fruit fly can eat off of and stuff. So like, and then you go, there's infinite beings bigger. Like, are we on an atom on the thumb of a giant right now? You know what I mean? I just, you know, the Bible says no, but my whole point is we are in some type of medium. The planets kind of look like atoms, you know, as we zoom in, we seem to zoom out. So when I think of this idea, a metaphysical world in which we live in, when it comes to trading, I present that same idea when it comes to trading. And when I look at it, it's like, well, the 1 minute is a direct mirror replication of the weekly inside of itself. It's just a smaller microtic, do I say microtic? But it's a smaller micro version, right? And so you can learn so much from the time frames. Like, and I show this all the time. So like the first thing that has to happen is the model that I showed you guys has to play out on the 5 second. I don't know what, these are the rules. Then it has to play out on the 30 second. You have to cross the 200. Then you have to cross the 200 of the 1 minute, then the 3 minute, then the 5 minute. All this has to happen for Bitcoin's daily bottom to bottom out and for us to get a continuation further to the upside. Okay? Then you get to the 1 hour and the same thing. And so by trading, like, you can understand how these small time frames really depict where we're going. And so even when I look at this or the 1 hour, it looks like we're going to me, the odds are we're going to get a beautiful descending triangle in the next 2 to 3 hours. And that's going to let us know that we can trade that daily bearish. I hate to be bearish on Bitcoin, but that's what I'm seeing, right? And it's just my subconscious mind is spitting these words out. I don't want to say this stuff. I just say whatever I'm supposed to say, right? But, you know, by the plan. I'm an industry plan, and they wrote me a script today, and I got to make sure I say exactly what the script told me, you know? Crazy, but that's, you know what I mean? What the heck is going on? Must have been drawing a lot of stuff. I'm like, why is that not deleting? Like, what the heck did I draw over here? And then I'm always like, you know, look, 69,100 Bitcoin. We pegged the magic number. Sammy Scripps, the dude's hung. That dude's hung. What does that mean? That dude hung. Me? What the? Why are people talking about my... We all know nobody tells a lifer what to do. Jimmy's boy. Shout out to my man, Crypto Billy. So, and then I'm always down for a long scalp. Like anytime. You know, but it's got to be right. You can trade the 1 second here on limit. Look at the one. See, like what I want to show you is like, this is how I learned how to trade the 1 minute. Look, we got above the 200 you touch. Look, we consolidated here inside of a flag and we broke out. Back out a measured move, which tells you where you're going. and says to take profit if you were in there at 69.3. You can see like the smaller time frames predicted this move, right? Weren't we on the... I was on the 5 second here. Oh, yeah, that's why I was deleting. I was like... So, look, the 5 second did play out. We had just drawn this for you, right? We had just showed you this. There's a trade right there on the 5. So, you can live in the small time frames if you desire. Like, I've seen it all. I think that's why sometimes it's exhausting for me to even trade some days, because my brain takes in so much information when I trade because I've seen so many different trades at this point. I think that's why it's important, is like the deeper you trade, the more there are times where you got to go into nature. You got to take a break. You got to rest the mind. You keep pushing yourself when you have a highly analytical brain, when you can see all this information over and over and over, you're going to melt your brain, man. And everyone says, well, Sam, why don't you take a day off? I've never seen you take a day off. Like today, you were up and down on the short, the long, but you got out of it. You seem to maintain. But it did look like, trading can get in your head a little bit. And I'd say, yeah, I agree. That's why I take time off through the day. I really do. Walk in nature, play with my kids. I did 2 puzzles with my daughter yesterday outside during the rain. It's really nice. We sat outside while it rained. We have this awning, underneath part of our outdoor area. And we have a beautiful table with fans. And we sat there with the fans on as the rain came down, and we did 2 puzzles, right? My daughter loves puzzles. And you know what? Puzzles are fun for me, man. I didn't realize how much fun they were. When I got hurt, I started doing puzzles with my kids more than ever. It's another thing, too. I did spend good time with my kids, but I'm spending even more time with them. Look at how the 5 second reacts, too. Just blah, right? Now, I'm not saying we're going up, for sure. I don't want to get into this idea. I just want to show you this is how I start to formulate a plan, an idea. And I learned this through just sitting with price action over time. The best use of my time is to teach you as much as I can, because I never know how long I will be here. Right? I mean, look at that. That was a descending triangle. We lost the sauce. They made it look like a beautiful inverted, and then they lost it. Now it's outside the channel. And you got, again, I know I always see 2 things, but a lot of times there are 2 things going on in trading. And I feel like this lost the trend line too and bearishly retested it just there. That was a bearish retest right there of the trend line. The traders will depict what's supposed to happen, So again, back to the idea. We don't know exactly. But it looks like 1 or 2 of these ideas is likely. It's kind of the Twisted Sister upside down, right? And I'm showing you that, like, eventually that 21's got to come back to price. Right? We're right at a resistance. Almost a bounce there. Resistant. Fine. We've like triple topped here. Triple bottomed as well, So I see the 1 hour coming down to price. I see this thing cascading lower. I see the 1 hour going into a bear flag and going lower. 67,003. And BOOKMAP suggests the same thing is happening. So yeah, it looks, and so I see the daily looking bearish. Now I got to execute. And this is what happens to me. I'll give you my version of what I do as a trader. So I see the daily looks bearish. I begin to project how the 1 hour is going to fulfill that destiny. If the daily's bearish, the 1 hour is going to have to form a bear flag and dump, you see, because the bearishness has to come out into the smaller time frames. Can't just do whatever it wants. Price action's going to have to give me the probability through shape and size. So there's going to have to be a bear flag. You get it? This is how it works. I love how I figured this out one day. Now look, it might make an inverted head and shoulder, and we might bounce. We might get back above, and it may end up liquidating the shorts. Tomorrow, some crazy news comes out, right? But right now, right? And I know what I do may be complicated for you, making 2 different shapes, waiting for one shape to play out. Which shape is it? Yada, yada, badoo, bada, badoo. I get it. It's not easy. None of this is. I don't expect you to pick up on it in 2 seconds, 5 seconds. And some people will choose what they take from me Some people will just use my moving average ideas, and some people will use the shape. Some people will use neither. Some people will use stochastics RSI. Some people will learn BOOKMAP and the VRVP with me in order flow. Some people will learn supportive resistance with me. Some people will learn trend lines and how trend line, everyone is going to come at the live at different times when I'm teaching separate parts of my trading, right? And and never could I cover it all in one day. That's what we have multiple days a week for, right? So that's why we stream all day, every day, right? Still a bull div on the 15, just not amazing for me. And so let's kind of backtrack. Today, if you're bullish, extremely important Bitcoin gets back above 69.7. Anything else is a front run that may or may not happen for you. Looking for the 30-minute. Either you're going to make a bear flag that takes you lower, which is likely, or you're going to try an inverted head and shoulder and get back in above that 4-hour 200 moving average. BOOKMAP screaming for a dump. So again, I see that the daily is bearish. I then, and again, sometimes you just open up a trade on the daily. You don't look at the other time frames. You say it is what it is. You say, you know what? If I don't trade bearish, I'm going to miss the move anyway. I'm just going to set this up and walk away. I'll look at it tonight. I'll let it sit for 6-7 hours and I'll look at it tonight. Right? Sad thing is, I've been caught off guard doing that when there's a move in the smaller time frame, like we flip bullishly somehow, some way, This looks like Collapse City to me. You see that another death cross is coming on the 30-minute. You see that you already got a death cross on the 15. And you see that you got a death cross probably coming on the 1 hour too as well. The 4-hour now 12 o'clock candle closed below the 200 moving average, which is another bearish sign for me for at least some type of continuation down. And you got to say, this trend line tells you made a lower high. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to make the trend line. Look how the 4-hour looks like it may just come in for a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and take us lower. Just a bearish retest of 70,800, that level that was so crazy the last few days. 70,800, I would write that down. That might be a one last jump up scenario where we rip up to that area. You know what we'll do, actually? We'll flip this upside down. We'll pull a Fibonacci from here to there. We'll flip it back, and you'll see like the 786 is 7,977. The 618 is 70,000. So somewhere in this area, high volume node, you'd be looking for, one last move up, and then that would be a head and shoulder on the 4-hour. You see, a retest of the trend line. So I would look very closely at that level right here. Okay. Upside down fibs is the same as fibs. It's just fibs, right? Fib. So again, daily looks bearish. I'm not gonna like, oh, I'm bullish or bearish. No, the daily is bearish. Doesn't look good. Small time frames could make a miracle or give us basically confirm what the daily is saying. If the small time frames confirm, then we have ourselves a lock for an entry lower. So I keep this open. This idea here, 3,000 for 9,000. Nothing wrong with that. We already made, 5 on the short, so I would consider that a buffer. So it's 2,500 if I lose, right? But to me, this is the most likely clean scenario when I just look at it with open-minded. And this is what had happened. If I had done this every time, I would have been paid every single time. And we did do it a lot too. So it really, anything could go either way when you look at it, right? So yeah, 68,957. Could we go lower? There's definitely a good possibility of it. And then we keep losing 69K too as well. Here's the one weakness to my strategy that there's been times where I'm waiting to be perfect and the bigger time frames just dump us. And you know, because I waited perfectly for that 21, I miss out on like a pretty good short entry. So what it does do, it keeps me from chasing. But like, see this? This looks like you're going to see. This just looks collapsy to me. That looks like you're about to get a dump right now on the 5 minute. Five-minute time frame looks very bearish. Looks like more dump side for the 5. So I want to set up is I want to set that daily short, and then I want to scalp all, you know, basically throughout the afternoon or throughout the weekend if I, you know, because as that short continues to dump, there could be, you know, long and short scalps on both sides of the table. So I set that long, let it go, and then just, you know. Cosmo hit 30-day low back to the levels of 2020. So crazy, man. Bitcoin has too many red candles on its way to infinity for my liking. Funny. That looks very bearish to me on a short. And again, you can open up the short on the daily if you trade isolated, separated. I can open up the daily short and open up the 5-minute scalp. I can have them both running at the same time here without them combining. But up here, you have to make sure you're in isolated. If you click this and you hit combined, it'll combine the trades. You see? Isolated, separated. So up here, you hit cross. Cross means you're going to use your entire portfolio. They can dip into that. If I have 30 grand and I don't use a stop loss and I open up the trade, they're going to put a liquidation level that could take my entire account. Now, they will give you a buffer. Like, for instance, when I trade my way, because I'm not cross, my liquidation is whatever I have in the account. It might give me 65,000 liquidation. But if I trade, isolated will give me 65. If I trade cross, my liquidation might be 59, 57. It gives people a false sense of security that don't know how to trade. They say, oh, there's no way I'll get there. I'm right. And then they open up the trade. Next thing you know, it goes against them. They get nervous. Sometimes when it gets close to the liquidation, they put more money into the account, not to get liquidated, and then usually they go to sleep at night, and then sometimes on a massive wick, the entire account gets liquidated. Most people get liquidated doing what I'm doing, all right? They don't listen. They aren't fully disciplined, and that's why I'm here every day to, like, if you're going to do this, you got to do demo, you got to do education, you got to take it seriously. And you can't slip. Like, you can't do it right for a month and then one day just decide you're going to treat it like Polymarket. Another reason why I don't love this whole new push for Polymarket, they want everybody to be like prediction gamblers. You know what I mean? When I did it, I turned $1,000 and 55 and I walked away. I felt like it was too good to be true, right? I did it. I picked it. It worked. But it was like, you know, when money comes that fast, usually you're like, huh, right? Isolated, separated. Separated means I can only lose what's inside the trade. I can't lose. And so isolated, separated for me. That's how I trade. Somebody say you'd make way more money and be less risk adverse if you had it on cross because the little moves wouldn't matter to you and you'd have so much behind each trade. A lot of traders do that. What they do is they basically wing every trade with no stop loss, but they have so much backed behind their cross leverage. Like right now, I could pump 200 grand into this account. And I could trade the 30 grand the same way without using the 30, so I'd keep it as reserve basically. And every time I would open up a trade, my liquidation would be like maybe 49, 51,000, very far away. What happens with doing that is people get a little too risk adverse. They start trading over risk. One day, a liquidation like October 10th comes and that wick comes down and it could take out your entire account. It happened to a lot of people. People had been building positions for years. Sheldon the Snubber, my buddy, man, who I met, he said he lost 2.7 mil. He came out and, like, in a diary recently. I was like, dang, man. And it's a reason why I just don't over leverage, man. I'm not into taking a hit like that. Right? I want to just make my money one step at a time, one moment at a time, one day at a time. Okay? The consistent grind to 1 million is like the person that does the consistent slow grind to 1 million is likely to keep it. The person that like spurs up and down is likely to find themselves in other ways too, less disciplined. It's not even about the money. It's about your energy and your frequency. Like, as you make more money, you're going to have more challenges that you didn't have before. Period. A high net worth lifestyle has more challenges. Again, a low net worth life, I like Dan Pena. The guy said, being broke is hard, being poor is hard. He said they're both hard, man. Life is hard either way. I'd rather be rich because it's hard either way. You know, I can make a joke like I usually. It's kind of a weird joke, but I never get constipated. But I see commercials for it, so I guess people do. And so you could be rich or poor. I mean, you might still be constipated at that one moment in time, right? So it does. The point is, life is life, man, and you're gonna go through the same ups and downs through your body, through how you feel. Like if you have low self-esteem and you're insecure and you get rich, it's just gonna accentuate. You're gonna do stupid things with your money out of your insecurity, right? If you know yourself and you're humble and you get rich, you're probably gonna do better things with the money. You know what I mean? So I find money just enhances someone's frequency. If someone's already off frequency, they need, like, maybe there's some things that are, you know, and they get rich, they usually, it spurs negative. If someone is positive energy and they get rich, it spurs positive energy, right? They use it to give, they use it to help. So the money will just follow energy, folks. People put a swing on being rich as it has to be negative because I think they don't want too many people getting rich. They want the average person to think it's bad. Look at those rich people. I grew up middle class, and like I think the way my dad talked about someone with more money than us was like they had a disease. You know what I mean? He didn't mean to do it. And he did. He, as he got older, he was far more refined. But when he was younger, that's kind of, you know, and that's how he was taught. He was raised by working class, so he was like, oh, you know, look at this guy. You know, this looks like it's going to go lower. I'm thinking of taking another scalp here. Is he still alive right now as well? Still alive. Still alive. He's talking about people coming into our country, you know. Wow, the 5 minute is about to take a dump. Trump says one thing that changes. I take one more short scalp for the road. Ooh, that looks nice. All right, add the daily scalp as I see this occurring, right? What's my liquidation again? 71. My stop loss is 72. So I want my liquidation above my stop, but they're very close. So, you know, way away from price action too. It's 3 for 9. It makes sense. And you see how much I think about my entries because you don't have to rush anything. Everything you do, if you do everything with patience, then you do everything with patience. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like you kind of get into the habit of being a patient person. I closed my eyes one day and I asked myself, there was no reason to be in rush. Like I was like, man, if I'm truly in control, unless you got to save someone's life, it's life or death, right? But as long as it's not life or death, you know, there really is no reason to be in a rush. In my humble of opinions, right? It just looked to me like we should continue these shorts. Smaller time frame looks like it's about to get routed, like a dump. I'd like to do both. I'd like to open both shorts, the scalp and the, you know. Really thinking about this one here. What are y'all doing? What are people doing in the chat, man? I didn't get a chance to talk to the chat as much today. He goes, when Trump stops talking, we'll hit 78,005. All right. BOOKMAP also suggests we are going lower. You can see all this liquidity to the downside waiting for us. I got a little bit dwindling up to 73, but it's mostly down there, right? This even looks like it might make an not an inverted, but a head and shoulder. Maybe even a little mini one there. The way the 21's curving back down, the way the 15 minutes below the 200 touching the 21, making a lower high. The way the 30 minute is below the 200 with the 21. And the way the 1 hour looks to me, I mean, that's still, And you got a wick. It could flip green with a wick, and that could end up, you know. But you've also closed below this previous candle, which tells me you're going to come test 67.6. That looks bare, man. Trump still talks, right? I think that's it, right? Thank you. Moving on. Okay, that was it. Okay. He stopped talking. Maybe we can get a pump now. All right. They said thank you and moving on. Maybe a double bottom now. So remember, just to kind of take you through it again, what my ideal situation is the 1 hour makes a bear flag, nice and neat. In the next like 6 to 8 hours, the 21 kisses it, and I get to open up the short somewhere at about 68.9, 69, you know, right around here. Like we kind of go up, we go down, we make a bear flag, and then I short it. The 21 comes to kiss it, right? Because it still could rip up and make another right shoulder there too. Two crazy trades today on the live. One I lost, one I won. It's been like that. We're running out of downside catalysts at the smaller time frames. I'd like to see us come down around 68.7. Get the 5-minute div for a possible long. The bulls are attempting to pump it now. I don't know, man. Look at your 1 minute making a head and shoulder. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. 1 minute spoke and said, I'm going lower. Feel like I can open up the daily short now, be covered for like most of the day. Feel like even if we dump back to the 21, we're going to consolidate back to the 21. Wow, this is crazy. And today is Thursday, right? Thursday, oh yeah, Thursday after 12 does get tight. Price action gets, you know, yeah. That looks like it's going to dump, man. That's a dump. I should scalp this right here. That's a scalp dump right now. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it. That's going down. Head and shoulder. Immediately. Nah, dang. You got to be on price. I just want to scalp this. What do they give me, though? That's a head and shoulder on the 1 minute. You can see that's supposed to dump. Like, I don't see how that goes, how that doesn't drop down to 68.5. If it starts to rip, I'd be like, oh, here we go. You know? Yeah. That's a 70% chance that's going to dump down to 68.5, 68.350 even possibly. And back to the bigger idea that we really should just be shorting that daily. That tells you should be dumping soon. That tells you should be dumping soon. That tells you may bounce back up a little bit first because you're just too far from the 20. Like if we got a pump today, we might continue to pump a little bit more. But it tells me that like there's going to be some resistance when we come up into here. And it would tell me to wait for this to flag out a little bit. You see? It would tell me just to stay patient for a bit. So I'm fighting all my spidey senses that want to push me into the market. I want to see this. You know, if we get this and then I get to enter here, I mean, that's the key. And I can enter this trade on the 1 hour. I can enter the daily. I can take profits the next morning when we dump, and then I can keep the daily trade open. And that would be like the most ideal situation. So I'm not going to open up a short just yet. I'm going to wait for the 1 hour to play out. I'm going to stay away for the small time frames and watch this 21-day moving average. This is flipped upside down. Everybody goes to 65.8. BOOKMAP is suggesting this is correct. All right. I believe from my years of doing this, my subconscious mind is high. It says I'm highly right on this. Like, I feel like I'm 90% accurate. We're going to continue lower. I just want to get in at the best time. I want to nail this trade. And when I'm ready to short, I'm ready to short. It takes a long time to get me to short, but when I'm ready to short, I take my time and I get ready to short the market too. So unless if it's not a scalp, you know, like a big short. So to me, this could be a big one. The daily right shoulder, it happened twice already. You only get it every like 2 months. It's every 2-3 months. It's not like it happens all the time. So this is a very key point where we're at right now. All right. Does everyone understand where we're at, what we're doing, and kind of what I'm seeing? Yeah. So there you go. Let's look at that. What did the 1 minute just do? Also, the 1 minute is in the model right now, which I didn't even notice, right? Wait, I thought, the 5 minute was in the... No, I'm upside. I'm about to say I'm upside down, right? Yeah, I'm about to be like, whoa. Yeah, so like it just... You know, if you look at it this way, we love this pattern. That's what I do every day. You see me do this all the time, bullishly, right? I've seen that many times. So that's the short scalp right there. 67,673. Oh, I always do that. 67,673. See, I do it every time. Take profit has to be below right there. It's annoying how they put the plus sign right there, like 69,342. My scalps would be far smaller. They're going to be like 300 for 1,000, 200 for 800, right? My bigger trade is going to be 3,000 for 9,000, 4,000 for 12,000, right? That's just like, that's where I'm sitting. Like, you know, that's where I'm comfortable with. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to work on what I'm doing. If I keep working at what I'm doing, 2-3 years from now, I will be in a $1, $2, $4, $5 million position. Like, things will go. But if I just force it, I'll lose all my money and I won't be able to learn. So I have to stay in a learning position. I got to stay in a learning mindset here. Very important, right? So look, this is switching it up, but this is doing exactly what I always do. Just upside down. I'll risk 150 of what happened today on the short. It tells me that we should short this. So I open up a live short scalp here for Bitcoin. I mean, it's funny. We flip the chart upside down. We're just doing exactly what we normally do, but we're doing it upside down. You see? That's it. We're not doing any. I'm doing exactly what I do bullishly. I'm just flipping the chart upside down. So I'm really not even changing my trading style. You see this? So long and short, short and long. It's the same thing. I'm just making my mind look at it the right way. So, because I've been longing for way longer than I've been shorting, right? And again, the risk is light here, but if this starts to fall, the bigger risk comes onto the table too as well, right? Oh yeah, that looks like it's going to dump. The 1 hour does not look good. The 1 minute looks very bearish right now. It looks like it's in a complex head and shoulder. Like, look how clear, like, that looks very bearish. But again, this market has been tough. And it is getting into the afternoon on a Thursday, which is very low volume. So we got to be careful, you know. So I'm not ready to commit to the monster, you know, and get obliterated just yet, because I'm watching it all. Shout out to everyone that still continues to trade this market no matter what. Like, you're amazing. You know, you're relentless. You're strong. Like, you're someone that really can't be pushed out of your position. And here we are again, just like yesterday, hovering at a price. Like yesterday it was 70,008. Today it's 69K. Way lower than yesterday, though. As you can see, we continue seem to be making lower highs and lower lows. What you'd be looking for now is if could Bitcoin maybe possibly double bottom back above the 200 moving average, right? 5-minute actually looks like a double bottom. You see, it's like every time I look at it bearish, it looks bullish. Every time I've never seen such back and forth price action on so many different time frames. I do gotta say though, everything just looks more bearish than bullish right now. So I'm sticking to the bearish scenario. I'm sticking to my plan on the 1 hour. I'm sticking to the scalp on the small time frame. And that's what I'm gonna do. Crazy, right? I wanted to show you as much as I could, expand price action. Well, we've been inside of chop now. We've been between 68.8 and 69.2 now since about 11 o'clock, right? For an hour of straight chopping. Anyway, I'll show you what goes on inside the trading group. I do see more downside. I would focus on shorts, folks, and I'm usually, I'm a pretty bullish guy, so. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Let me jump on into the fan funding. Apologize if I didn't get to it too early there. Let's see here. So we have Mr. Golf Bank. Thank you so much for the $2. How do you use Mexi in the USA? Can't still withdraw your funds if using a VPN. I'm not sure. It's up to each person individually. Sam, can you check the 8-hour hidden bull div? Thank you. God bless. 8-hour hidden bullish divergence, somebody said. No. You had hidden bullish here. But like you didn't make a higher high. You got negated, man. So that's a no. If anything, like you might be descending here off the side and then I'm seeing bearishness across the board whenever I take a look. I do not see hidden bullish divergence. No, not at all. Not at all. No. I see hidden bullish divergence that got negated when we got rejected by 72K. Yeah. This looks like we're about to dump. I'm going to win that short on that scalp right now. And then possibly the daily as well, right? I feel like it's smart to at least begin the daily short now. I'd rather get stopped out and let them pummel me and take the probability that's at hand than play games emotionally and think I know what's happening in the charts, right? I'd rather just be what I'm supposed to be, which is a trader that trades exactly what I see, and I don't want to get into it in my head. I just want to let it do what it's supposed to do. I mean, right? Again, that stop loss be somewhere like 72,116, I guess. Could be lower, 72.44. For me, I don't know about for you. You put it whatever you desire. I am not a financial advisor, right? Could make a green. We could be wicking. Even the 8-hour stochastics are pushing down. Suggest we might come down here and get a double bottom at 67.9. And tomorrow I could be long and see something different. I just want you to know, like, anything could happen. Keep watching my channel. Stay updated. Go to Discord. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more about me if you want to join. You can subscribe. You can pay monthly, quarterly, or annual. I do an update every night, every morning. I don't stop. I'm always there for you for your $3 a day. I'm giving you education updates, and you're just kind of sticking with me as I think through the charts every single night and every single morning. If that's something that excites you, as you learn through doing, if you don't learn by just like being, like you like teaching and stuff, but you want to kind of follow with me as we go, I think that's how you really take advantage of how to learn from a trader, right? It's like if you got to ski with me and I was your ski instructor, you learn so much than just taking a lesson. You want to go with me around the mountain. Really vibe out. Seems like, don't we've been holding on. All right. Something else. Jump on it today if you want to learn more. All right. Looks like we're going to hopefully win on this short. Okay. This is just how it's been every single day. What? 24-hour stream again, yeah. There's only one way I can stop streaming. There's only one way you could get me off this mouse. Something else. Something else. And I just sit and kind of watch this now. I've been in front of my computer since about 7:30. My eyes are in front of these bright lights, and I usually have to take a break. Otherwise, I can't see for the rest of the day. Basically, like, my eyes get shot, you know. But, yeah, we're just kind of chugging along here. If we flip it the right way, this is upside down. We're looking for this to kind of belly over. The daily doesn't look good. The small time frames, everything kind of is telling me we're going lower. But hey, we all know a tweet in one direction or the other, or something happens and everything changes. But for the most part, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. The charts tell me that this is going to get worse. And there's going to be something next week that sends the markets, Bitcoin, the S&P, everything into kind of a free fall. That's what the charts say. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely what the charts say. So it could be wrong. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not a soothsayer. But that's just what I do, what the charts are telling me. Something else. 68.8, you know, the more I see this, the more I really believe that daily short is in order. Yeah, there it is. Liquidation or stop loss somewhere above 72,000. And I really like the daily short now. I think it might be one of your last chances to make the daily short, as the small time frames are really telling us what's going to happen. So I'm officially saying I like the daily short. It looks good. I believe it should be taken. I've showed it to you multiple times. If you're not sure what it is, go back to the live and watch it. I've put it out there. But it's basically the head and shoulder on the daily time frame, which has a measured move. Like if you want to just look at it very simply, without a lot of bells and whistles, like this is it. This is it right here. So as you're going somewhere, that could take you down to $59,000. Take out all these wicks. It might wick out everyone that thought they caught the longs too. Every single one of these has played out. I'd love it if it didn't. But had you taken the right shoulder every time the daily made one of these, right here, that right shoulder, you got paid. Right here, that right shoulder, you got paid. That right shoulder, I think there was a little mini one right there. So this is what the daily's been doing. It's been broadcasting the bigger move every time. It's up to you whether you want to listen to it or not, right? And the stochastics are pointing down on the daily, on the 12-hour, the 22. The daily even kind of curved here. You see that? And I could see the 4-hour get back above the 200 and everything change. Yeah, you know, I could see it's like it's crazy, like slop of the moving averages. We did close a candle below the 200, which is also bearish to me on the 4-hour. So I don't know, it is treachery. If you want to be extra careful, I'd wait on the 1-hour to reconnect to the 21. Maybe the 1-hour makes an inverted head and shoulder here. So if you want to wait for like the best insurance, don't open the short until we reconnect to the 21 on the 1-hour time frame. That way you would be averting getting stopped out if we end up ripping up, right? But if you wait for the 21 to catch, but what if we just continue to go down a little bit? Thing is, we'll eventually connect to the 21 and give you an entry. You see what I mean? But this is completely up to you. I'm still in the scalp. It's only up $10. All right. We've been sideways now for an hour. It's been very difficult to trade. You saw me win and lose today. We did what we did. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Another beautiful educational stream. Through action, we were able to teach you a lot. I saw a lot. I learned a lot about my own trading, about markets, and just about connecting with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the awesome super chats. I love each and every one of them. They are very, very, very nice. You don't have to give, but you do. And thank you, dear Lord, for everyone that came to the stream. God, thank you for all the people that came here. Thank you for all the comments, the likes, the views, and the constant support. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have got me through this tough injury that I've been going through, so thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. Everybody that ever did anything in their life that you remember them for, every book you've ever read that you say, wow, that's amazing. Michael Jordan, you know, you go to sports, you go to famous painters, you go to, you know, philosophers, you go to anybody. They started somewhere, man. Real estate moguls, right? They started somewhere. So the secret to success, you know what it is, folks. It's getting started.